All right, what's the biggest misconception about music production? What do you think? And how long? Wait, how long you been making beats?
4 or 5 years.
Wait, I don't even think you introduce yourself. I don't think people don't know. Well,
I'm behind the scenes. I'm technically behind the scenes, unless people see me on YouTube. But like,
I feel weird being like, "Yo, this is what you do." So I guess I'll let you talk about like your contributions to creativity.
My contributions. Well,
and your alias too.
My alias. Well, I just go by AJ really, or AJM. But yeah, I produce for these two dudes. You might know them. Maybe
you might. I don't know.
Maybe not.
It's funny because like
it depends where this content's going.
Yeah, because
if it goes on YouTube, they're gonna be like, "Who the hell is he talking about?"
Some people know me as Evan, and then the people who I meet, because I'll introduce myself, and I never mention music.
Oh,
and then usually when people find out that I do something semi-creative is when they follow me on Instagram.
They'll be like, "Who's Burgerstock Damn?"
Yeah, and then my Instagram really doesn't look like a rapper, but if I post a lot of Rebels of Savage stuff, I'm like, "Oh my god, you make music!"
For real.
And then I got to go through. It's like a reinvention of people meeting me and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
then I feel awkward being like, "Hey, yo, my name's Evan Shanks. I make music." But
you got like a split personality going on or something.
Ass.
You got like it's like you're like secretly Batman or something.
Yeah, literally. And then I got to explain myself.
Dudes find out like your secret identity.
No, dead ass.
No way.
But anyways, my bad.
You actually, it's like, but yeah, no, I just make beats and YouTube videos. That's about it. I do dumb shit on YouTube sometimes. That's what's going on right here, obviously. But yeah, no, I just making beats for this guy and his friend for
Basil KB. Shout out to KB.
Basil, yep. For what?
Another Wilmingtonian. 2.5 years, maybe.
What year are we in? 25.
Yeah, 25.
So like 2.5 years.
Yeah,
I think it was like. What month did Access 22 come out? September 2020.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, no, that's a long
2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
23 September, 24 September. Yeah. Not quite a half yet, because that's only what 9th month. So we're coming up on 2.5 years. But I've known you since December of 21. I think.
Probably.
I think that's when we all met. I guess I
probably
met you.
because I think I met you through A Slick, another Wilmington homie. Another guy is an amazing producer and stuff like that.
There you go.
All of us use FL Studio.
FL Studio, yep. Got to do FL Studio. Don't steal it.
Yeah,
or steal it.
Yeah, don't steal it.
Wink, wink. I'm just kidding. I buy all my stuff.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think it's easier to manage, especially whenever like you have a laptop go down. Because I know we both have had instances where like your laptop
it was easier to get all these
up.
plugins back because it just lets you transfer the shit over. I haven't had a plugin yet that's been like, oh, you can't get this on your new computer, like a different computer. But it is limited though to like 5.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's like I'm not gonna go through 5. By the time I get through 5 laptops at that point, it's like there's probably gonna be like a whole new set of plugins I'm probably using by that point. So it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? 5 laptops. I mean, I'll be like 40 when I'm on that 5th laptop. You know what I mean?
So knowing you, since you've been producing music for like, or making beats, producing music for 3 years, 4 years, what would you say is something that you learned that you weren't expecting to learn, or like maybe a challenge that you were gonna that you came across to where like when you started producing, you necessarily didn't think was there? You know, because like it's like the golden ticket, like the golden rap, and then you peel it off and you're like, oh snap,
there's
like
really
I gotta figure out how to do A, B, and C.
Yeah,
what was that first moment for you, I guess, when you're like, yo, I want to make beats, and they're like, I gotta figure out how to do this?
Yo, I think for the entire like first year I met you, I don't think I really made beats that weren't like me mixing them for like 1 hour straight.
Okay, yeah.
I would be trying like just the mixing part. I'd be trying like 90 different plugins, and I'd be like,
okay, right.
And I think a thing that I had to get past was just using plugins just to use them. That was a thing. That's something I see people do all the time. Bud Kelly.
Yeah, people that go on YouTube, it's like, all right, check out my vocal chain. They got like 15 different. Now, don't get me wrong. If it takes 15 plugins.
Yeah, it'll take 15. But
it takes 15.
But a lot of the time, it don't take 15 plugins. And a lot of the time, it's not going to be like a set master track a lot of the time.
Right.
Or even like on your mixer channel, whatever you got. I learned that you don't have to use something just to use it. Like that was the big challenge I got past, was like I got all these new plugins and I felt like, oh, I have to use this. Or almost the fact of like
because of a video or because you saw something.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, I see somebody using so and so plugin. Let me put it on that sound, and then just to find out like they're making a completely different beat than me, so it doesn't even like correlate. But yeah, now and it's kind of just learning like what everything does and letting your ears kind of adjust to it. Truly, you know, like a lot of the time, like, we see some other people do, like, they just put, like, 30 things on the mixer track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Call it a day. Like, oh man, I have all these different plugins, or even I always talk about that Waves IDX plugin.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It's like,
I didn't even get to use it yet.
It's like, for me, even though I get it,
right?
I think part of the time, whenever you're learning how to produce, like you said, like, it's really about opening your ears.
Yeah.
And then the other side of that is you kind of got to know like what you want to change about it. And you don't really understand that whenever you just have some intelligent dynamics AI mastering plugin where one knob can make everything sound great.
I think one thing that I was obsessed with using for the longest time that I did not understand was using just like compression.
Oh yeah.
Like I would just throw it on there just to be like, oh, this is what it's doing.
Yeah.
Now it's like to the point where I'm like, okay, do I need it? Do I not need it?
Mm-hmm. On what sound? What am I using it for?
Yeah. A lot of the time for me, it's mostly just on the master channel. I don't really like. I'm not too like crazy on like solo sounds, which I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. I mean, I've done it on, like drum buses. But yeah, no, like a lot of the time it's just like you can't even like when you first start using it, it's like you can't even hear what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Until you're like another thing I learned is just like when shit is too loud, it's kind of hard to also hear like what's going on with compression. Like I found that it's easier to kind of compress stuff while it's like quieter.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because,
well, they tell you for plugins, like, if you already go, like, let's say if you're starting your chain off at a certain dB level, and you swipe a plugin, you won't have the right gain stage.
Yeah, because, like, with compressors, if you're, like, you just have that bitch blowing past 0, like, of course the compressor's gonna be, like...
Yeah.
So, like, you have to put it to a certain point so that you can even move the threshold.
Right.
Because if you can't move the threshold, then it's kind of just, like...
You're already compressing, and you don't have wiggle room to like determine. No, I get that.
But I would say just learning compression and just mixing as a whole. Everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, you're so good at mixing," but I don't even think I'm good at mixing. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm ass. Like compared to like what I hear on like the radio.
Oh my gosh!
It's like like there's so much better.
Oh my goodness! And that's what I think. One time, like probably around my 5-year mark, is that. Like, if you don't hear it, you don't hear it. So I think a lot of people, if you do listen to your favorite song,
right?
Well, we always talk about all the time. People who don't know anything we're talking about right now,
right?
When they turn on a song, they just hear the song.
Oh yeah.
They may hear the vocals, they may hear like the drums,
but they don't understand like what's going on,
right? But they don't hear like I feel like most producers or audio engineers like they're hearing like
crazy shit,
crazy stuff. How does the bass sound? Like how does the kick respond?
It's almost like 2 different songs.
Yeah, it literally is 2 different songs. Like, so how much are you supposed to care?
Yeah, if the normal person doesn't.
If the normal person, yeah.
I mean, we've heard plenty of bad mixes that have gone platinum. So it's just like. It doesn't really matter too much. Like you really just got to make it sound good to a normal person.
What would be a highlight? Like if you heard somebody played you a beat and they would ask you, "Hey, tell me if this mix is bad, good or not." What would be the first thing that you would listen for?
The first thing I'd listen to for. I mean, like really, what it is like. Is it like not leveled? Well, yeah. Is it first off? Is it everything like leveled correctly? Not correct. I guess there's no technically correct answer, but like. Is it balanced to a point where like I don't hear like 6 different things that are like high at one time? Right. Like I know dudes who will like try to do like, oh man, I want the 808 to smack through the limiter or not the limiter, but I want the 808.
Everything has to be loud.
That's the first way you can tell is like okay, they have everything way too loud. What you end up learning is like even if you turn things down, it kind of just sits there. Like there's a spot it sits at kind of. And you really just have to find that spot. And that's just building your ears, really, and just letting them open up over, like... That's why people try to, like, man, why does my mix not sound good? But they've only been making beats for, like, 1 year. And it's like, well, it's because, like, yo, your ears just don't... Like, there's no... Most things you can't beat with time. And music is definitely one of them. Because you can't... Your ear... I mean, maybe people's ears open quicker than others, but, like... It takes several years. You can't just hop on and be, like, the best mixer of all time out of nowhere.
True.
It takes, a couple of years for your ears to really adjust and start hearing, like, what's actually going on. Because a lot of the time, when you hear, like, an actual song, like, there's a lot of stuff you can't even really hear that's going on because it's actually so quiet. Like, that's one thing I learned with beats is, like, sometimes I'll start, like, humming or singing over something, and I'm like, okay, maybe that hi-hat is too loud.
Yeah.
Because, like, without a vocal, it's kind of like... certain sounds sit at certain spots and it sounds fine, but then somebody starts rapping on it and you're like, oh, it's actually not fine.
Yeah,
There's too much shit going on and too much room, and that's also why I think like everybody loves the simple beats, because there's not much going on. You can just kind of rap however you want to. A lot of flows, a lot of like different opportunities you get to do on a beat if there's not much going on. I mean, every time we play like a hit song, I'm like, yo, this beat is not that good.
Right.
Like, it's not that it's not good, but it's not that crazy.
It's not complex.
And I'm like, yo, this shit is like 5 times platinum.
Yeah. No, well, and that's another thing too, is like when the older I get, the more I realize the music that you make, more often than not, you're impressing non-musicians, non-producers. And I mean, like, people may have grown up playing musicians and stuff being musicians, but at the same time, I think you have to relax a little bit to understand, hey, all this effort
doesn't even matter.
There's a point of no return to where, like, hey, unless you're just for the sake of making the most creative work you can or giving your best effort.
Yeah.
But I feel like more often than not, like, I would say like 30% of that effort kind of falls off from the consumer standpoint.
Yeah.
Because they just enjoy the freaking song. They don't care that you put the CLA 2A before the CLA 76 into C. Like, that stuff is so far beyond. And when somebody says, oh my God, I love this song, like, it sounds like you're using the CLA 76 on your vocals, and then it sounds like you side chatting and kick to the. Nobody's ever going to come up.
Nobody cares about all that. That's it's like, yo.
Nobody even will come up to you. Even your friends will never go up to you and be like, yo, I see the beats that you posted.
As long as the song's going crazy, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. I think more people care about who's on the microphone than what's going on in the background.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're at a point now where, like, Cardi could probably rap on anything, and people would be like, "Oh, that's hard."
Oh yeah, it's like the aura. It's the aura necessarily. I will say, even though Cardi, he's in a whole different lane. Cardi, Destroy, Lonely, Ken Carson.
Oh yeah,
they do have unique beats.
Oh yeah, they all got different. Like, they don't all rap on like similar stuff.
Right,
like,
they don't.
Destroy Lonely has very like, it's almost like mysterious, like spacey. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like dark and spacey at the same time.
If looks could kill.
And then you have Ken Carson, who's just straight like rage.
Yeah, in your face.
Just the 808s are blaring.
Man, his beats. That's most of my favorite. I think the reason why I like the artists that I do. I mean, I'm lyrically driven. Don't get me wrong, but you don't necessarily have to be giving me a message in your music. You can give me just a vibe, but if your beat selection is off,
it's over.
I feel like I can't
it's over.
Give you that props as an artist.
People, that's why people like It took people to get used to Cardi for a while because he didn't really say much a lot of the time. It was really just like, that's why people didn't like when he did like the baby voice shit, because they're like, yo, what's he saying? But then it's like, you got to understand, like, it's more of just like a vibe song. It's not really.
And Kendrick does the same thing too.
Oh yeah.
But it's just different. His fans, Cardi's fans, are different than Kendrick's fans.
Oh yeah, but
they listen to music differently.
Oh yeah, some people are diehard for like, yo, there's got to be a message in this song or it sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Whilst with Cardi fans, it's like, yo, the beat has to be good or this sucks.
Yeah.
Or like the flow.
Or it just has to make me feel a certain way. I don't gotta understand what you're saying.
You gotta be able to jump up and down to it at like a crowd or something, right? Kendrick has a lot of music that you could jump up to a crowd, like we've seen recently, which I think obviously he's getting prepared for the Super Bowl. That's why I think he made the album that he did, because there's a lot of like high energy tracks.
Oh, for sure.
Like, because usually his albums are pretty like, I wouldn't say chill, but like slower with a message, I guess.
Yeah, they're very layered.
You wouldn't go to like a show and like be like, I'm hyped about this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Kendrick fans, they're looking. It's more of an experience. Like, if you just listen like Good Kid, Mad City, I think the people that are sitting in those seats,
they're there for the experience.
They're there for the experience and the message.
Yeah.
And Kendrick is just,
I think,
is just a really good songwriter, and he's a phenomenal lyricist. Like, his storytelling ability,
it's crazy.
Cardi, if I'm looking at everything, like a 2K sliders, like attribute wise, like you can go lyricism.
Oh yeah, Kendrick's up here. Right?
Yeah,
and then Cardi's like down here.
Cardi's attributes are like aura, beat selection,
flow, maybe
mysterious, mystique.
He has a decent flow, I would say, because it kind of like his flow with the song usually is pretty good. But yeah, his lyricism is just non-existent.
Yeah, like you can't compare. Yeah, like it's a different lane of hip hop, so I'm not expecting Cardi to give me like revelation and stuff. But he does have some pretty decent bars. But you couldn't put him next to Kendrick and probably without getting yelled at or screamed at.
Yeah, somebody on Instagram or YouTube is gonna be like, "Oh, he sucks. He's ass." No, I was gonna say I think a good person who does kind of a balance is probably like Tyler the Creator.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He has like a good balance of like.
Chromacopia is a great album.
Yeah, people don't like it.
I don't understand.
That's just the TikTok influence. That's what that is. It's like one person on TikTok said it's ass, so the whole thing, everybody has to think it's ass all of a sudden. If your favorite person said the album was ass, all of a sudden it's ass. But I could agree to a point where like maybe his music is more of an experience for some people rather than I'm gonna have this on repeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I think that's why people enjoy like Cardi and Ken Carson and Detroit. Like they have a lot of repeatable music.
Yeah.
That's not like an experience, but like it's like, okay, I can play this 10 times in a row and still feel the same thing going on. For some people, like a Tyler album, they feel more like it's like watching a movie. Like you watch it once and you kind of get all the information. It's like I can't really repeat this. But
funny enough, even though a big Travis Scott fan, like Birds in the Trap McKnight is something that has, for me, I can play all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But then me trying to listen to
Utopia, right?
Utopia, like I feel like I gotta be doing something cinematic or in my car. Now there's good songs that I can play like in the gym and stuff. But when I listen to Days Before Rodeo or Birds in the Trap, and don't get me wrong, I think it's just a different era of music. I think artists can change over time. Like, I don't think people should be making the same music.
And that's kind of like a mixtape versus like an actual album kind of. Yeah. Like that Utopia had more of like a message behind it than Birds did.
And it came out with the movie too. I mean, not the movie. The movie.
It was a movie.
And it was out in until they took down the AMC literally 2 weeks before, because there used to be an AMC right off of Market Street.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks before they were going to show the Travis Scott movies, 'cause I think Beyonce did the same thing.
Yeah.
But they were only going to show it in AMC movie theaters, but I couldn't watch it because I probably could watch it.
And then go figure, they got the they were showing Taylor Swift across the street from you, but no Travis Scott.
Yeah, they're not going to show Travis Scott in freaking Mayfair.
Everybody would be like, get out of here. They're going to throw a riot.
Yeah, no. That reminds me. There was one time where the college I went to, which I don't know if I should talk about the college that I went to, because if I talk about the college that I went to, that'd be me talking trash.
All right, we'll just go.
Now I work at the college that I'm going to be talking trash about.
Well, I also go to the college we're talking trash about.
Yeah, so
it don't even matter. Honestly,
I will say so. We ended up there was a Waka Flaka concert that
at the school.
Yeah, at the school.
Oh, okay.
And they were gonna throw it at the auditorium that we have like on the front of campus.
Yeah.
But because I think they were like $40 tickets, but apparently they were gonna have the Waka Flocka concert,
right?
But everybody had to stay sitting in their seats.
Oh, I didn't know we were gonna go to Waka Flocka concert doing that.
And of course, that didn't happen. The fire marshal came in there and said everybody had to leave.
Oh, jeez.
Before Waka Flocka stepped a foot on that stage, all because, now don't get me wrong, I was kind of mad, but I do understand, like, hey, if there's one artist that I could think of that people probably don't want to be just sitting down crisscross applesauce, is Waka Flocka.
Yeah, all his music is like super like, yo, I'm trying to jump around and
literally
get drunk.
And the last couple of not concerts, but like tours he's done, he's been like
people love
hybrid of rap and like EDM. Like a lot of he just puts his lyrics over like EDM beats and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and does a lot of college shows.
I don't know why they expect people to just sit down over his music. Like every song he has is high energy. Like I don't understand. Like who's gonna sit down for that?
That was very
that's just like
I said college.
That's just a questionable moment, I think.
And then I think early, I mean, this was like early 2000s. They were trying to bring Kanye there too.
Oh, what, UNCW?
Onto UNCW.
Really?
Yeah, one year. I don't know if you remember 303. They're like don't trust the like
a band.
Yeah, it was like a dun 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 dun. I forgot the song. I think the song's called "Don't Trust a Hoe," but they're like a group.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd rather listen to
T-Pain was fire at the college.
Oh, you went to UNCW too?
No, I don't think he went to. Oh yeah, he performed at UNCW.
Oh dang, man! They just they just not have nobody performing no more.
Yeah, no, I guess
at the school.
I mean, not hip hop wise.
They just said screw that.
Yeah, they just screw that. And then all the basketball games, they just have a DJ.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they it seems like they like to keep everything very calm over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
every time I've seen y'all set up for somebody now, it's just like a band.
Yeah, it's a band,
and it's not usually like some screaming shit or nothing. Yeah. It's just like
very calm, relaxing. Yeah, that's the vibe. I guess it's by the beach. Like if we want to turn up, we go turn up and like.
Oh yeah, they need to turn it up though. They don't got enough of it.